You're making a mistake. You would be much happier at home with a husband and children.
Oh, boy.
What's going on, guys? BMS and Naya back with another video. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Make sure you guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So here we go.
So many women in our office have the exact same problem. You know, we just sit there absolutely freezing at our desks trying to type. You can probably tell I've got a cold right now, which I blame all on the AC. And so it's just so actually quite nice to see this research. It's just such a relief to know that there's actually proof that this is happening, that women, you know, do feel the cold more than men, and that the AC in offices is normally regulated more for a male's temperature than a woman's. You know, one of the biggest problems is that often in offices, it is men who control temperatures. You know, that's just something I've found anecdotally, because majority of the men in offices seem to be absolutely fine with the temperatures. You know, women kind of just sit there on the corner feeling absolutely frozen.
I don't think there's somebody over here trying to be sexist and being like, let all the women freeze.
You're more so making the temperature more universal, right, for everybody in the room. Plus you have equipment, you know, computers, technology that runs hot. So ultimately you're going to have to cool the room to a certain temperature so that, you know, everything is functioning.
You know why I'm laughing? You're giving all these logical points of why the reasoning why the setting needs to be cold. And she's over here like, I don't know, maybe she has had issues with the men in her building, in her like team or something. Yeah. Because it sounds like she's trying to come after some people.
Nothing's being done to help them. And, you know, it might sound like a bit of a silly, light-hearted issue, but actually it's really uncomfortable being freezing at your desk every day. Take it from me. Honestly, I think so many women listening now are going to just be nodding their heads thinking, yes, that is exactly my reality. You know, we joke at work that we actually can't dress fashionably anymore for summer because you actually just can't go in sandals. You can't go in a summer dress because you're going to have to put on the jumper or the emergency cardigan. So, yeah, it is quite frustrating, especially when you then go out on your lunch break or your commute home and you're absolutely boiling outside. And I think there is a bit of a problem when it's warmer outside than it is inside your office.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Let me, okay, there's two things that come to my mind automatically, okay? So if it's the summer and you come to work with maybe like you have a long flowing dress, right? It's not like you're showing a lot of skin, and then you come to work with like a cute matching cardigan, okay? So that's your fashion. So when you're in the office, you have your cardigan matching with your dress and you're good, right? When you go outside, take the cardigan off and you're good. And the weather is perfect and whatever, live your life, whatever. And then in the office, there's also these things of like these mini heaters that you can buy like under your desk. I know I've seen people do that as well. So there's options. I think you just have to look into it, and you can ask your manager too. And like, if it's really that much of an issue, they can maybe even pay for it for you for the little heater. Right. Like there's options.
Yeah, there's solutions that you can do. So I don't think it's more of a man or woman issue, because I've been in offices myself where I found, you know, the temperature too cold, and I just simply put on a sweater and I keep it moving, right? So I think this is more of an office issue versus a sexist issue. Like, it's just doesn't make any sense.
Women should be at home with the kids. They're happier there.
I hope that your viewers do not take you, sir, seriously.
There's a great book you should read. It's called Why Men Earn More, and it's all about women choosing to put family over work, and that's why they earn less.
Having a choice does not mean that you're less ambitious, and your comments are absolutely deplorable. Sean, I would like
less ambitious in the workforce.
I would like you to address it. You're a father. You have a daughter.
If you were a real you would support housewives and see them as the heroes, and women who work wasting their time.
You said that women are less ambitious.
Women are less ambitious.
You have also said that women are better suited in the home.
Yes,
You've also said that, let's see, that women are emotional. And women shouldn't run for public office. All of these things that just
I never said women shouldn't run for public office.
Yes, you have. You've said that
if we're talking
before.
about
Yeah, that seems to be the trend in today's society, right? It seems like women that are, you know, staying at home with the children are ultimately shamed for doing so, versus a, you know, modern woman, you know, working her career and kind of doing her thing, right? So why do you think it's like that? Because you look back 50 years ago, it was honorable for a woman to take care of her children and, you know, help raise them and so on and so forth. But now it seems like it's kind of taboo. So what are your thoughts on that?
No, I think for some women, they feel like they're judged, right? So like I think for the other women who are like, you should be working and you should be taking care of the kids, you should be doing all these things. But deep down, maybe that woman just wants to stay home with her kids. So she's looked at as like lazy or unambitious, like you don't want more for yourself, like you should be doing all these things. So she's looked down upon because she doesn't want to like do too much.
Right.
Much. Yeah.
I guess if a woman introduces herself to a circle of women at like a cocktail party or whatever the situation is, and every woman in the circle is saying, you know, they're a lawyer, they're a doctor, they're, fashion designer or communications major. And maybe you come into that conversation and you're like, yep, I stay at home with the kids.
Yeah.
And you're kind of looked upon as inferior, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. So I think for some women, I'm sure that's maybe a feeling that they have, but it also depends on how secure you are with your family, right? So if you know, like you are fulfilled in what you're doing, and if those women could be a doctor, a lawyer, and be completely miserable in their lives, right? So, but if you're the woman who's like, no, like I'm a stay-at-home mom and I'm proud of that, and that's something that gives me fulfillment. My family values me and they praise me every day for the things that I do for them, and I know I'm doing good for my family and the people I surround myself by. Right. And she can also, sidebar, you can have your own business at home.
True.
Like there's that too, right? So while you're taking care of the kids, you can also be doing something like side hustles part-time, you know, where she can still be bringing like money to the family and resources and whatnot, but maybe just not as the same scale as her husband. Right. So I just think it's more of like, you have to balance things out.
250 million people or 150 million people, most women are happier at home. They are pretending that they like working and they're not making money because they don't stay all night at the office. They don't go the extra mile. They don't work all weekend. You're making a mistake. You would be much happier at home with a husband and children.
Oh boy. Oh,
I mean, I'm literally shaking.
You just said you're single. You don't have a boyfriend. You're what?
That's
you're celibate?
my choice.
Yeah, look, you're miserable. You would be so much happier with kids around you tonight. Imagine coming home, mommy's home.
And it's true. I mean, society has lied to a lot of women, right? They're thinking that, you know, their career and, you know, being a modern woman, boss babe is ultimately going to bring them happiness. But once they get into their 40s, 50s, and 60s and they're no longer able to work, or maybe your job lays you off, or, you know, the industry that you're in unfortunately crashes, whatever the situation is, ultimately your family is going to be there when it's all said and done. So what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, I think for also, just the first thing that came to mind is that for men, right? For men, when they're thinking about working all these hours, putting in all this time and whatnot, what's the end goal? It's to provide for your family, right? Women don't have that same mindset sometimes, where they're thinking it's an end, like it's a means to an end. So it's just to kind of like for their lifestyle.
Their lifestyle,
right?
Yeah.
So if they're a lawyer, they're making a lot of money. It's to fulfill that lifestyle, maybe. And some women do obviously provide for their family and loved ones.
Yep.
But for the majority, I find sometimes it's more for like, you know, like the extra
bag,
stuff.
the clothes,
you know,
the trips, things of that nature.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's, if you have a mindset of like, you just want to, whatever you need to do to provide for your family, I think that's the important aspect. So if it's either some women, you know, if they want to work and then also take care of the kids and whatnot, you have to just understand that it's going to come with pros and cons. But at the end of it, all you're trying to do is just provide for your family, right? Whatever way is best. It's either if you guys decide that it's better for you to stay home and that's the way you're going to provide for your family, then that's what it is. And if it's better for you to be at work and like for the time being until things are settled, then that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on the couple.
Yeah, and the flip side is, I mean, if you're a modern woman, because we have 5-7% of women that watch this channel, and if you're truly happy being a modern woman, you know, climbing the corporate ladder, and you're truly happy, you know, with that, and you can look yourself in the mirror and be satisfied with what you see, I mean, more power to you, right? So, I mean, ultimately, it just comes down to choices in life and, what kind of works for you.
Yeah.
But just kind of looking at the data and, you know, all the videos that we review, typically speaking, women find happiness in families. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and end this video. If you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time.
Bye, guys.